Media portrays DHS ammo purchase as conspiracy theory. Now, we've well documented the bullet buy, so I'm not going to go too in depth on that, but I just want to point this out. The latest examples include Media Matters and Raw Story, both of which attacked Fox Business host Lou Dobbs for daring to raise the issue on his March 4th broadcast. And it goes on to say, hijacking confusion about whether over 2,000, don't want to exaggerate, over 2,000 armored vehicles were destined for DHS or the United States Marine Corps. Media Matters, which has been documented to be little more than an Obama administration mouthpiece, reported that, quote, the claim that DHS bought a 1.6 billion bullet stockpile is also misleading, end quote, while simultaneously admitting that DHS did buy 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition. So it's misleading to say that they bought that many, but they actually did. But in terms of the trucks, we actually have a video of these trucks so you can see for themselves. I'm not saying Marines don't have these big armored trucks, but you see right there on your screen, nowhere on that vehicle does it say U.S. Marines. We'll keep watching. Homeland Security, police, and police rescue. Okay, Homeland Security, police, rescue. The guy has police written on his jacket there, police on his helmet. This guy is dressed up in the Homeland Security outfits. You see police in the background, police on the truck. Homeland Security, police, Homeland Security, and more police. And they say they need that for warrant enforcement. They need a bomb-proof, or a mine-proof truck for warrant enforcement, because we know the Crips and Bloods have a stockpile of mines. So, yes, they do have those for DHS. There you go, proof. And our last story of the night, city looks to make gun ownership mandatory. But, okay, let's see what they have to say. One police officer patrols Nelson, Georgia for 8 hours during the day. That leaves 16 hours overnight when the city is basically unguarded, a very reasonable concern. The Nelson Ordinance is modeled closely after the 1982 law passed in Kennesaw. It requires gun ownership, but also allows several outs, like if you're physically or mentally unable to handle a gun, or if you're a felon or have religious objections. Now, I know many of our critics out there would say, well, you don't want the government telling you what to do and this and that. You don't want the government forcing you to buy a product. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with that statement. I don't want anybody to own a gun who just flat out does not want to have a gun. It doesn't have to be religious. You don't have to be a felon, ex-con. If you just say, hey, I don't want guns in my house, that is your business. So good try to Nelson. The only thing I would say is I would suggest that you have an opt-out program where if you just don't want to have a gun, you don't have to have a gun. That's the only thing I would say about that. But before we end our broadcast, I do have this clip of Ron Paul. This is some classic Ron Paul standing up for your Second Amendments. It's nothing new to him. Ron Paul back in 1989.
This gun sure looks deadly, but it's not the least bit deadly unless I point it at someone and pull the trigger.
I think it's important that we look at the Second Amendment in context of the entire Bill of Rights. That means we have a right to own anything we want, including guns, as long as we harm no other person. If we sacrifice our liberty in the pursuit of safety, we'll lose our safety and our liberty.
All right, great job, Ron Paul. Looking like Rand back there. Almost didn't recognize him. But anyway, we'll move on to our quote of the day. This is from Mr. Bill Gates. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. Now, whenever people say the world is overpopulated, I'm just wondering why they're living, breathing, telling me this fact, because they're still on the world. If you cared so much about the globe, wouldn't you kill yourself? Now, I'm not advocating suicide, but saying the world's overpopulated, you got yourself, you got your wife, you got your kids, and all of them are still alive and happy, so I just don't understand such an argument. It's like complaining that people drive slow and you're driving 25 miles an hour in the fast lane. It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, after this break, we'll be right back with Lloyd Chapman, my interview with him. Very interesting, very in-depth. And after that, we will have another special report from Mr. Alex Jones, who is clearly not on vacation at all, it seems. And he's going to be talking about the not just coming, but the current police state. But before we get to all that, definitely want to encourage you to go to prisonplanet.tv. Get yourself a 15-day free trial. You can see we have the Alex Jones radio show, the nightly news, the special reports, the ranch section is a whole lot better. It was stale for a long time, but John Bound and myself have been working on that personally to get that up to speed. So definitely go there and check out the Yosemite Sam ramp. And also don't forget, I guess you have a little over a month left for Operation Paul Revere, a contest I very wish I wish I could be in. I asked Alex if I could take some time off and make a movie and come back. He's just like, no, that's not happening. But anyway, if you want a total of $115,000 in prizes, check that out, Operation Paul Revere. You have over a month left. So definitely, there you go, your prize is right there. Grand prize, $100,000. Who does that? You give your money to some of these other news organizations and they go buy themselves a yacht or go buy their wives new Gucci purses. We're giving it right back to you, our viewerships. So we do definitely appreciate you. So stay tuned right after this break for Lloyd Chapman. Jakari Jackson here, and I want to talk to you for a second about water. You know about ProPure, our flagship water purification system, but check out some of our portable water filter products at InfoWarsStore.com. The clearly filtered water pitcher. Also, for those of you on the go, we have the Athlete Edition filtered water bottle and the RAD Eliminator Pro filtered sports bottle that removes radiation. And keep in mind, we have replacement filters for all of these products. The ever-popular grab-and-go bag favorite, the Life Straw, the Crystal Quest shower filter system, and the Aquapod kit, great for mass storage of water. And while you're at the InfoWars shop, pick up a copy of our latest book, 31 Days to Survival. You can find all this and more at the InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget, it's your support that funds our operation. Sign up for our free newsletter at InfoWars.com/newsletter.